Hey, Pazza YouTube, what's up? How's it going, everybody? Have for y'all today the team builder for week 7 of the PGBL season 2. Now, if you guys may have missed our week 6 match, a link to that should be down in the description or somewhere on the screen, probably over there somewhere if you guys want to go check that out. So, for those of you who may not be aware, we are having to face our rival once again. So PGBL has this thing where you face one team twice. You don't play every single team, but you face one team twice, and that team is quote-unquote your rival. So for week 5, we faced the Cincy Scizors, coached by Visual Ally. I think it's how you pronounce it, Visual Ally. I think I said his name incorrectly the first time around, but I think it's pronounced Visual Ally. I'll double check before we get into the actual battle, so I don't butcher it during the hopeful live narration. This match will be live recorded. We should be playing in about an hour, so yeah, kind of excited, a little nervous, not really. Like, part of me isn't going to be upset if we lose this match, but I really do want to win this match, especially because we do have such a solid matchup. Also, we were able to win our first game in week 5, I think like 3 or 4-0, so that was a really solid win. However, though, this is a thing I don't really like about rematches, is that I already brought certain things to game 1. I may want to bring the same things again to game 2. Same thing for him though, so he's got to kind of expect me to expect some things, or he's got to expect me to expect them to not bring those and maybe prep for some different things, and just, yeah, but he can do the same for me and whatnot. So yeah, that's kind of my thought going into this match. However, though, most of our moms were very solid game 1. We only changed a couple things around, and this time around I will be showing the EVs and moves and all that stuff, because we don't play again until potentially playoffs, and currently we are 6-0, which is pretty awesome. Hopefully we do not take a loss in week 7, but let's take a look at the team matchup below me. So much like our first game, Hoopa Unbound I can't switch into Hoopa Unbound. Depending on if it's Specs, Banded, or Z-Move determines on how I can deal with it. Mega Lopunny is a little bit terrifying, but we should be able to deal with that. Primarina, depending on if it's Specs or not, can really be a huge issue. However, though, in our original game, I think he brought more of a defensive variant, so he may want to bring that again. Steelix is not really that big of an issue. Like, we have enough on our team to hit it for hard enough damage, so I'm not really too concerned about Steelix in this game, honestly. Decidueye, I definitely expect them to want to bring Decidueye this time around instead of the Talonflame, just because Talonflame did literally nothing game 1, and he may expect me to bring Zygarde this time around, so physically defensive Decidueye does make a lot of sense. Definitely expect the Zapdos to come once again as well, potentially with the Shucca Berry, maybe this time around with the Charty Berry, if he expects me to want to bring Mega Deontay again. Weezing, Cryogonal, and Haxorus, I don't think either of those are really coming. Like, Weezing, I guess, could maybe come if he wants to have a solid answer to physically offensive Infernape and physically offensive Scolipede. I could maybe see Weezing over Hoopa Unbound. Part of me almost wants to say he's not going to bring Hoopa because it didn't do much in game 1 either, but then he brought a max defense, max HP Hoopa, so maybe he just brought that because he knew we would have to play again. So this time around he may bring a more offensive set, so definitely have to watch out for that. But the top 6 are mainly what I'm expecting. Let's just go ahead and get into this. Oh yeah, hit that like button if you guys do enjoy this. So yeah, our first team member we have here, Munchies, the Snorlax. This is actually not the original set I wanted to bring game 1. I completely brought the wrong Snorlax game 1. I brought my week 6 Snorlax to my week 5 game by accident. But this time I double checked, made sure everything is correct. This is indeed the Snorlax that we will be running this week. We are just kind of like the standard spread of Snorlax here. The Spadef is very nice. If he's got specially offensive Hoopa, then we can pivot into that. This ensures that Primarina should never ever be able to 2 KO us, even if he's like modest max special attack with the choice specs, unless he's willing to constantly spam Hydro Pump, not only risk missing but also risk me stalling him out of Hydro Pumps, then there's literally nothing Primarina can do to us. Facade is going to be absolutely phenomenal if he does bring Discharge Zapdos again so he can paralyze us, or if he just tries to spam Scald with Primarina, which if you look at our squad without Vaporeon, he can kind of just spam Scald, so I can definitely see him just bringing defensive Primarina again, because if he doesn't have defensive Primarina, Infernape just kind of comes in and clicks fire type moves and everything just dies. So yeah, that's kind of why I expect him to want to bring defensive Primarina again. But Fire Punch is legitimately only there for the Decidueye and the Steelix. I definitely expect them to want to bring both of them. See, the thing about this matchup is that he can definitely run a more kind of like defensive team with defensive Primarina, Steelix, Decidueye, and Zapdos. All four of those being defensive, and then just having the hard hitters in his Hoopa Unbound and his Mega Lopunny in the back. So having this to potentially be able to set up on something and just sweep late game once the Hoopa or the Lopunny is gone. Actually, if I get to +2 physical defense and I have my Figgy Berry intact, there's no way that Lopunny should be able to beat us 1v1, which is absolutely amazing. So if he allows me to curse up twice with this monster, then I think it's basically good game. The reason why I expect him to bring Weezing is because I think he may want to bring it with Haze for Snorlax. So if he does bring Weezing, I will have to be a little bit careful about that. But regardless, Curselax in this match is just so nasty for him to deal with. Like, Snorlax is such a beautiful pivot mon in this match. I can switch into so many different things on his team, and if he's not packing Toxic on like 4 mons, then this Snorlax can come in, get burned, and then it's basically hopefully game. We can start cursing up, get the +2, Facade's gonna be boosted, and we're just gonna be absolutely smacking everything around. That's literally the only reason I have Facade too, is just because in case he does burn us or he gets a paralysis with his Zapdos, then yeah, Snorlax can just put in a lot of work with Facade. Next off, we have, of course, Tego the Necrozma, physically defensive. This is the exact same set. No, it's not. No, it's not. I'm dumb. I'm bad at this game. Sorry. This is the set that we are running. I was supposed to make this level 50, but the one I put over didn't get... I forgot to set it, so I exported it without setting it. So yeah, I apologize that this is going to be at level 100, but... I just normally like to put the Pokemon at level 50 to be able to show you guys exactly like what the stats are going to be. So yeah, anyways, this is very similar to the exact same set and EV spread that we ran in our first matchup against the Cincy Scizors. The only difference though is that now we have Stealth Rocks as opposed to Heat Wave. Now, in a sense, that's a little bit odd, but it's not that big of an issue, and you guys will see as the rest of the team unfolds. It's not really that big of an issue that we don't have fire coverage on this Necrozma. The main thing I just need Necrozma to do is switch into Lopunny, get up rocks, and then Oko Hoopa with an X-Scissor. Thanks to Colbur Berry, we live any choice specs, choice banded, Z move, dark type move, anything we live, anything guaranteed from Hoopa, and in return X-Scissor should be a straight Oko, unless you know he's max defense, max HP again, which hopefully he's not. So yeah, hopefully he's not max defense, max HP again. But Necrozma just in general has a really good matchup in this team, a really good matchup in this game. And the cool thing about it is that physically defensive Decidueye already takes like 40% from Photon Geyser, which is kind of insane, honestly. So that could be really nice just to pressure Decidueye. Because going into this matchup, like the biggest nuisances I feel are going to be Decidueye and potentially the Zapdos. Like, yeah, Hoopa's scary offensively and so is Lopunny, but as long as I don't misplay or I don't get unlucky with some hacks, like in some of my previous matches, in my other Draft League matches, then we should be in a pretty okay spot. A little bit of speed and Spadef just to speed creep certain things in case he thinks I'm not running any speed creep. And then the 12 Spadef is just so we can maybe take like a Dark Pulse or special type Dark Z move a little bit better. So next off we have a Child's Play, aka the Klefki. This is literally the exact same set and the exact same 4 moves from our first match. Mainly because, yeah, we revealed to him that we had dual screens, player up and toxic, so he could be expecting that again. There's also the good chance that he may think we'll try to switch things up. Actually, I don't think we revealed toxic unless he watched the Teambuilder, which I think... Did I show toxic? I don't even know, but... we have Toxic, which is going to be really nice to poison Primarina, Decidueye, Zapdos, the Cryogonal, I guess, and maybe Talonflame. I really don't expect Talonflame. Dual screens are there because if I find out that the Hoopa is physical or special, I can go for that screen accordingly and then go from there. Play Rough, I think, does like 70 to almost 80% to Hoopa if he's not running any bulk, which is super, super nice. Reflect and Light Screen are also going to be absolutely amazing to help Snorlax potentially set up. Like if we have a Reflect up and we only have one Curse up, then Mega Lopunny can't just come in and high jump kick for free. We're going to tank that because thanks to screens, he halves the damage. So we're essentially at +2 defense along with our +1 after the curse, and then we get up that second curse, then we're like at +4, and then from there we can just continue cursing, or we can potentially recycle and just do whatever. Although I do have to be very careful if he does bring something like Encore Mega Lopunny. I know that's something that I will have to keep in my mind and hopefully scout out for. And even if he does bring Encore, I think that wouldn't be too bad because that means he most likely loses a coverage move or he doesn't have Toxic, which is going to be really nice because I would assume he wants to have Fake Out in case I bring my Scolipede again. He needs Return and High Jump Kick because those are really good stabs, and then his final move are possibly going to be Toxic, Baton Pass, maybe like Cosmic Power Baton Pass, Drain Punch Return. Could also maybe be a thing, so I do have to be very careful with that if he does want to opt to bring something like that. But for the most part, Klefki is just kind of like, oh hey, Hoopa's in, please live, Klefki, please live, and then we just go from there. So yeah, if for some reason it doesn't bring Hoopa, then that's even better because this means Klefki has a little bit less usage for us, or it's not as useful essentially, but that just means that we can kind of use it potentially as a sack fodder. We can use it to scout things around, so that could also be really, really good. And moving on to the next team member here, look at Choice Bandit Zygarde and look at his team. Now back to Choice Bandit Zygarde and back to Visuali's team. I'm just gonna call him Viz because I really don't want to pronounce the name wrong when I don't know it right now, but I promise you guys I'll look it up before me and him battle. I'll like replay it 5 times as he says his name so I don't get it wrong. But yeah, like look at Zygarde and look at the Cincy Scizors. This just gets a kill. This just comes in and things die essentially. So of course his main and best answer to Choice Bandit Zygarde, any variant of Zygarde in general, is going to be Decidueye. Now, the great thing about Zygarde, though, is that Choice Bandit 1000 Arrows to physically defensive Decidueye, which most likely will have Colbur Berry, and if it doesn't have Colbur Berry, that's absolutely phenomenal because that's even better since we do have Crunch. Actually, Crunch alone can 2-hit KO a non-Colbur Berry Decidueye, so if I catch it on the switch in with the prediction, it's gone. Oh, excuse me. But the great thing about 1000 Arrows is that 2000 Arrows to physically defensive max HP Impish or Bold Decidueye does at least about 50%. I think it's like 23.8% to like 27, 28-ish%. So we're doing about 46, 48 to almost like 60-ish% damage, which means all I need to do is just get off about 40 or 50% of damage on the Decidueye, or if my rocks are up, rocks with Decidueye being at around 60% will guarantee that when it switches in, I have a very, very good chance to easily 2-hit KO it with 2000 arrows. So that's going to be absolutely phenomenal. Extreme Speed does so much damage to the Hoopa, to the Haxorus, to the Talonflame, and to the Lopunny, which is absolutely amazing. Earthquake is only really there if I'm able to get rid of his Grass type, his Flying type, and potentially one of his 2 Levitators if he does want to bring them, because then at that point Earthquake has that extra little bit of power. For example, Earthquake 100% 2-hit KOs max defense, max HP Primarina, and then if he doesn't have a flying type at all, I do even more damage to the Decidueye on the switch-in, which can definitely be very beneficial. Obviously, I do have to be careful with what I potentially lock myself into, but for the most part, Zygarde can honestly just be our lead, and if he doesn't lead or Primarina, Lopunny, or Decidueye, I just kind of get a kill. And even if he leads Decidueye, I may just lead Zygarde and click Crunch. I'm not entirely too sure yet how how leads are going to go. It's really going to depend off of the team matchup. But yeah, that is the definition, or that's the explanation of our Zygarde. We are running enough speed to ensure outspeeding max speed Jolly Decidueye, sorry, and then the rest of it is just into the bulk, so we can potentially tank 1 HP Ice from whatever he may have HP Ice on. And moving on to the next team member here, we have good old Guerrero the Infernape, which really didn't do anything game 1 because everything else just kind of handled everything that the Cincy Scizors had. But this is the exact same idea behind the set that we brought to game 5. Like, Scarfed Infernape in this match is absolutely amazing, guys. Like, Infernape in general, again, if he does not have the Primarina, then Infernape just comes in and I click Fire Blast. Fire Blast legitimately 2-hit KOs everything that is not a bulky Talonflame and that is not called Primarina. After Stealth Rocks, Fire Blast just nukes everything, guys. Like, it's insane just how much power Fire Blast really can do. Close combat is only gonna be there if I've got rid of his resists, I've got rid of his ghost types, or if his resists are low enough to the point where I can just kind of lock myself into close combat, then hey, that's pretty fine and dandy. But for the most part, I'm probably just going to be going for U-turn, Fire Blast, or Gunk Shot with this Infernape. Gunk Shot is only if I'm feeling risky and want to predict the Primarina on the switch in. If not, then I can just U-turn out and go into something else to deal with the Primarina. So yeah, that's kind of the idea behind Infernape here. The defense and HP EVs allow us to live 1 Earthquake from non-offensive Steelix. Like, if I want to lead Infernape expecting him to lead Steelix, I can go straight for the Fire Blast as he tries to get up his rocks. Weakening Steelix is going to be absolutely amazing for the rest of our team, and then we can just kind of go from there. If not, I can still just lead Infernape and go for U-turn turn 1, and then just switch into something accordingly. So yeah, moving on to the final team member, we have Moody the Sneasel. Now, the differences between our team this week as opposed to week 5, the first time that we played Cincy Scizors, is that we do not have Scolipede and we do not have Mega Deontay. I was really in a bit of a toss-up between Sneasel or Deontay. Like, I really felt I need my other 5 Mons. If I really wanted to, I could have gone Mega Deontay over Zygarde, but I feel like he's gonna really try and prep for Mega Deontay this time around. So I'm hoping that he won't see me potentially, or he may not think I'll potentially bring Sneasel and Zygarde, because he still has to prepare for Scolipede regardless, even though we didn't use it in our game 1, just because of how huge of a threat Scolipede really is to his team. Like, his best answer to Scolipede is Weezing, so I could definitely see Weezing potentially coming. But for the most part, Sneasel is mainly here to trap and get rid of that Decidueye. Also, because his only real switch-in to Sneasel is the Primarina, I can just go for the Poison Jab, and that's a clean 2-hit KO on physically defensive Primarina. And if he has Steelix in the back, I can just click Knockoff, and even if I catch the Primarina, when Primarina switches in, it's going to lose its leftovers if it is defensive, and then from there, it makes it a lot easier for my Infernape and for my Sneasel to just kind of deal with it and beat it 1v1, and then my Necrozma in the back can apply offensive pressure to the Primarina as well. If I Toxic it with my Klefki, that's going to be absolutely phenomenal. So I really do expect them to want to bring Cobra Berry Decidueye, not really for Sneasel, but for the fact that the only move Zygarde has to hit Decidueye for super effective damage is Crunch. So he could bring something like Cobra Berry and HP Ice to try and weaken or beat my Zygarde. But even if I lose Zygarde, it's not going to be entirely too bad, because between Sneasel and Infernape, both of these Mons can just kind of break for each other and soften up whatever walls he may have for the other one, and then the other one just picks him off essentially. So yeah, definitely expecting Sneasel to put in a lot of work in this match. We are running enough speed to outspeed Haxorus. I honestly don't expect them to want to bring something like Timid or Jolly Max Speed Zapdos, just because it wouldn't make much sense in my opinion. And if he does bring like an offensive Zapdos, I have Snorlax, and I really doubt he's gonna have something like Toxic. But yeah, I really didn't feel like I needed to go Jolly in this match to guarantee outspeeding Zapdos. But for the most part, Adamant Life Orb Sneasel just can can kind of click knockoff against everything, which is super nice. And then we can Pursuit Trap the Hoopa, we Pursuit Trap the Decidueye, the Cryogonal even potentially, and then just it's all fine and dandy after that. But yeah, guys, that is going to be our squad. Let me know what y'all think about it in the comment section below. Oh, that is not on our team. Let us know what you think about it in the comment section below. And with that being said, I will see you all tomorrow with the actual battle. So later, everybody.